Welcome to a new short update. It's very busy, so I'm gonna provide you with a short update as Bitcoin is once again going towards the lows. It is at 28.4k and we might be seeking for some support in order to have some continuation taking place. But before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also make sure to join our Discord where you can find more intel on the markets and where we provide you with trade ideas and more. Just before I'm going on my holiday, the markets are decided to have some correction taking place. Is it going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, or are we actually seeing weakness at this point given the fact that the stock indices are also showing weakness, the dollar continues to rally, and we've got the yields that have been going towards new highs. What do we have first of all is the following fact. We have been losing the range here previously at 30k a month ago. We have been going sideways since then, and now we are losing the lows at 28.8 again, as we have been sweeping the lows last night while open interest continues to go up substantially. So that is something to take into account. The chances are very likely that we're going to sweep the low once again, and then the question will be how strong of a bounce we'll be seeing out of that in order to have at least some momentum back up, and then we have to zoom in at the weekly data. Open interest is currently at new highs, which means that there are a lot of positions being opened. The only thing that has considerably changed here is the fact, just like we have been seeing in this correction here, is the fact that the funding rate is getting downwards. It's not baseline, it's not above baseline, it is beneath baseline. And that's the only difference we have here, which might mean that there is a reversal on the horizon, because we are still waiting for news to come on Grayscale against the SEC. That should have been coming yesterday, but we didn't receive it, so it might be there tomorrow, and it can move markets. If Grayscale wins against the SEC and the news comes out tomorrow, we are on the edge of having ETFs in the markets, and that could push the markets forward slightly more. Today came out that we've got a post from Grayscale, which is with two eyes, but also stating that their ETF team is hiring currently for cryptocurrencies ETFs, which could potentially mean that the markets, or at least the case, has been won by Grayscale, and that the news is going to come out today or tomorrow, and that we might be moving. Overall, the markets are still in a corrective state, which means that the RSI of the 4 hour is currently dropping into levels we've only seen in a few cases before. And I'm going to discuss that in a little bit. What do we have here? Similar structure as we've been seeing previously, in which we've had range-bound constructions, breakouts to the upside, leveraged, or at least positions have been taken, and then continuation until we crack a certain level. In this case, we've had the sweep of the high, rejection at 29.9, and then we lost the entire support level 28.9, and now we are having the RSI on the 4 hour at like 15 to 20. What is it? It's 16, while in the meantime losing range low. We've had it here previously where we also lost the range low. We took out the liquidity beneath the low and swept all the way back up towards the range high. We've also had it in March, and those are the final, and we have had it here in April of 2023. Those are the final cases that we have been witnessing RSI on the 4 hour being so low as it is right now. So there is a potential case that we are having a buy the rumor, sell or sell the rumor, buy the news event. The expectations are that we are not going to have news. It's going to be delays. The markets have been having it, and we could be getting a fact that we actually have news and start the reverse. What does Bitcoin need to do? We need to flip 28.9 and hold there, and then we can have some momentum coming back in. The other question we have is the fact that the dollar is still momentarily currently doing a strong move. August and September are often a very risk-off period. So what we are witnessing here is the case that the dollar continues to rally for 5 weeks in a row. That is a lot, and I think that we are on the edge of having a correction on the dollar, especially if we have been seeing such a strong momentum and as we have been taking the liquidity above the recent high. If this is going to turn around, which might be the case, we also need to watch the 2-year yields, which are currently starting to fall slightly. Especially the weekly candles are starting to look like we're topping out here, but still no breakdown, although we've got this massive bearish divergence. The 10-year yield, pretty much the same, currently attacking the high, and I think that once we reach towards the high, that's where you can see the actual momentum kicking in, because then also liquidations will happen in this market. What is gold doing? Gold is currently having a slight bounce. If we continue this bounce, and we have a good daily candle, but if we continue this bounce on the tomorrow before the weekly close, I think that we're reversing on the trend here. If not, you also know the answer. And on the other hand, what do we have even more? We've got the indices for the markets here, which are currently having a bad week again. Daily candles inside. I think that the trend is going to continue, but we're getting towards the stages that this continuation of the trend is going to end, especially since we have been going downhill for a month already. So I think we're going to have a bounce across the markets, and then the question will come whether or not we're going to have some information on the entire case of Grayscale against the SEC, and then also in a few weeks time we've got the BlackRock ETF and some more. Now, when we're looking at the Bitcoin price action, we can conclude that we're getting into interesting stages. What I mean by that is that this level at 28.3 is the previous high. So I think this is definitely one to keep an eye on. The next area is pretty much between 27.1 to 28.3. That is definitely the key zone that we need to find support on. I think that if we continue to fall into tomorrow's data for Grayscale, if it comes out, we could be reversing here, and then we just had a nice deviation beneath the low. Bitcoin really needs to claim 28.9 to have something. If that's not happening, then I'm going to look at a potential entry in these longs here as we reached the green area. Party has not started, but we will soon, especially with the RSI going here. I think at least a slight bounce is around the corner. If we're reversing the trend, I'm not sure. Back on Saturday. Ciao.